of the National Assembly and the members of the Senate. This is going to be the second address by the head of state, President William Ruto. The first time he addressed this house was on 29th of September 2022, when he was opening officially the 13th Parliament. This special broadcast is brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in conjunction with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Edward Kabasa. I invite you to this live broadcast, which is also available on YouTube, courtesy of the Parliament of Kenya YouTube channel. That means you can watch this address on the go this afternoon, the 9th of November 2023. The State of the Nation address is delivered in accordance with Article 132, Sub-Article 1 of the Constitution, which provides for the President to address a special sitting of Parliament once every year and may address Parliament at any other time. Once every year, the President is also expected to report in an address to the nation on all the measures taken and the progress achieved in the realization of the national values referred to in Article 10, and to publish in the Gazette the details of the measures and progress under sub-paragraph. The head of state is further expected to submit a report for debate to the National Assembly on the progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic. So any moment now, the President will walk into the chambers where he will find the members of Parliament already seated so that he can deliver the State of the Nation address. The last time that the head of state addressed this honorable house was on 29th of September 2022, and in that address, he promised to implement the bottom-up economic agenda to create jobs and empower small businesses. The President also pledged to achieve the universal health coverage. In that address, the President also pledged to connect all Kenyans to the internet by 2030. These were promises that the head of state were making to the country, and of course using the platform of this national parliament to make his agenda known. The President also used that address to pledge to increase agricultural productivity and ensure food security. Some of these steps, Kenyans have been able to see them, and of course every day sees progress. The President also pledged to fight corruption and promote transparency, and as well as strengthen national security and protect Kenyans. In that address, the President promised to promote national unity and cohesion as well. Those were some of the highlights of the speech that the head of state did give before Parliament on 29th of September 2022, when he was opening the 13th Parliament. That sitting was broadcast also on this channel, the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit. This afternoon, a lot is expected. The President is expected to speak to a number of issues, especially those that are touching on the lives of Kenyans, such as the high cost of living. Of course, Kenyans are expecting the head of state to address this, that he will have the opportunity to outline his government strategy to tackle the rising cost of food and fuel, as well as other essential goods. Now, this is a pressing issue for Kenyans, and the president's address will be closely watched for concrete measures to address the high cost of living. Kenyans do also expect the head of state to address economic transformation and inclusive growth. The president they expect him to reiterate his commitment, really, to his bottom-up economic agenda, which aims to empower small businesses and farmers as well. They may also announce new initiatives, if they are there, to boost economic growth and create jobs. The economic transformation and inclusive growth is part and parcel of the plan. This is the manifesto of the Kenya Kwanza government, which it is anchoring the first term on. The country also do expect the head of state to address matters food security and agricultural transformation. Now, with Kenya facing food insecurity due to the prolonged drought, which has been quelled so far by the rain which has been pounding the country, really did expose the country to a number of challenges. Now, the president is expected to address the government's plan to increase agricultural productivity and ensure food security for all Kenyans. These are some of the expectations that Kenyans are having of this State of the Nation address. It heavily borrows from what has been seen in the past. Of course, the president will eventually address the country on the issues that he feels are important to the country. Also, a number of Kenyans expect the head of state to address healthcare and universal health coverage. The president may announce progress, for example, on his government's plans to expand access to healthcare and achieve universal health coverage. We did see during the commemoration of the Mashujaa Day in Eldoret, in Kericho, I beg your pardon, the president did officially launch the universal health coverage, where he flagged off a number of health promoters who are going to be walking into the communities to ensure that everyone is having access to healthcare. The country also do expect the head of state to address issues such as the digital superhighway and the creative industry. He may highlight his administration's efforts to promote the growth of the digital economy and the creative industries. This is part and parcel of the manifesto of the Kenya Kwanza administration, and through the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Highway, we have seen a number of steps which have been taken to achieve this. Perhaps the head of state will be updating the country on the status of this agenda and what direction perhaps it is going to take in the coming months as well as the coming years. The country also expects the head of state to address issues to do with security and counter-terrorism. The president may address the security situation in Kenya, particularly the threat of terrorism and other forms of crime. He may announce new measures, for example, to enhance security and protect Kenyans. That is a matter that is close to the hearts of very many Kenyans, considering the amount of investment that has gone to the equipping of Kenya's men and women in uniform. If you're just joining us, this is a special broadcast of the parliamentary business. This afternoon, the head of state will be issuing the State of the Nation address, and Kenyans have been giving their views, speaking to a number of issues that they want addressed by the president when he finally takes to the podium to speak to the nation in the National Assembly chambers. And Kenyans are also hoping that the president will address national unity and cohesion, that he's likely to call for national unity and cohesion, and urging Kenyans to work together to build a stronger and more prosperous nation. We have seen in the past the opportunity is used to address issues to do with national unity and cohesion, and perhaps this will also provide another platform for President William Ruto to update the country on the steps being taken by the government to ensure national unity and cohesion. It is also worth noting that already there is a plan which is underway, spearheaded by the parliament, that political parties and all stakeholders come together in the form of a national dialogue which has been going on at the Bomas of Kenya. Of course, Parliament is at the center of this process. The 10-member dialogue team has for the last several months been deliberating on a number of topics and agenda comprising of outstanding constitutional matters, electoral justice, and related matters, as well as entrenching funds into the constitution, establishment and entrenchment of state offices, and fidelity to political parties and coalitions, and the law on multi-party democracy, and the elephant in the room being the cost of living. If you're just joining us, these are live pictures from the National Assembly chambers, where a joint sitting of Parliament is about to begin. On your screen there, to your right, that is the Honourable Member for Jomvu constituency, Honourable Badi Twalib. We can also see the county woman member of the National Assembly for Bomet is also in the chamber. Honorable Mushangi is also in the chamber as well. They are waiting for the head of state to make his way into the National Assembly chambers to allow for this process to continue. It is a historic sitting. Kenyans do really see such kind of sittings perhaps twice every year. Now, during his last address to Parliament, the President asked this House to consider a mechanism in the standing orders to facilitate cabinet secretaries to articulate government agenda, explain policy and answer questions on the floor of the House to enhance executive accountability to the people of Kenya through their elected representatives. This is an agenda that has been achieved, and the members of cabinet, the cabinet secretaries, have been coming both to the National Assembly and the Senate, and they've been able to answer questions which have been asked by Kenyans through their representatives in both houses. The president also did commit during his last address to this House to restore the place of Parliament in Kenya's democracy by respecting the autonomy and oversight authority of Parliament on the executive. There on your screen is Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale making his way into the chamber, and a number of senators are now walking in. To the left, just on the aisle, is the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, who also is the Meru County Senator, walking into the National Assembly chambers to take his seat. There is the nominated Senator. This special sitting of Parliament was communicated both by the Speaker of the Senate and the Speaker of the National Assembly, and the President is expected to address it any moment now. When he last addressed Parliament, the President pledged to scale up productivity in agriculture and make sure that every Kenyan farmer, fisherman and pastoralist contributes to